What's going on, everybody? So today I'll be going over Anaxa's kit and my general evaluation of if he's good, if he's worth it, and all that stuff. Now keep in mind that this is my initial impressions on Anaxa's kit. We still have to wait until the 3.2 special program and when 3.2 goes live, and especially the second half of 3.2 when Anaxa himself goes live, so we can see how he fully functions in the game by then. But at this point we can already kind of tell how Anaxa functions, and it's not anything too crazy. Now before I get into his kit, I do have to talk about team synergies first. I want to get this out of the way first. Anaxa kind of seems like a Silver Wolf power creep. Necessarily, Silver Wolf was a one-of-a-kind character, but now Anaxa has officially killed off Silver Wolf, and honestly, there's really only one team comp where you can even fit him into, and that of course would be a team with the Herda. You could try using him with maybe, I don't know, 4-star Herda. You can pair him with other eruditions as well and get something cool going on in Pure Fiction, but with the brand new grid mechanic back in 2.7, Pure Fiction is so easy that you don't need to pull for erudition characters just to use them in Pure Fiction. You don't need Argenti at all or any other erudition limited character other than the Herda, who has still power crept every single DPS in the game by a mile. Now, does that mean Anaxa will be good with the Herda? Yes. Does that mean it's worth going for him? No. And the reason why is because, think about it like this: Anaxa to Herda is almost like a Jiao Chiu to Acheron, but the main difference is that Acheron essentially needs Jiao Chiu in this day and age, while Herda doesn't. With the Herda, you could use Argenti, you can use Jade, you can try using 4-star Herda, you can use Himiko. There's plenty of other erudition characters to use the Herda with. You don't need Anaxa. Jade E0 S0 will be enough even for an E0 S0 Herda. So Anaxa, really, if you're trying to get him for the Herda, honestly, from what I can tell, isn't worth it. Which is a problem because that's where he shines the most. Without the Herda, Anaxa, you need other eruditions with him. He's kind of selfish. He's almost like a sub DPS, not quite a DPS, because his damage doesn't seem like it's gonna be that high. The testing's been done. The kit damage multipliers have been shown in the beta. Anaxa doesn't seem like he'll be doing the most amount of damage. So he seems like if I had to guess, I think he will do maybe 50% extra damage, 50% more damage than what an E0 S0 Jade can do when he himself is an E0 S0, which is that's not a lot, bro. I'm not gonna lie, that's not a lot. So Anaxa, team synergy wise, he seems like he'll really shine with the Herda, but even with his best in slot team comps, where he himself is obviously not the DPS because he himself is not a main DPS, still doesn't seem like he's worth it. But now let's talk about the kit itself. This is what I want to get into it. And his skill, honestly, unless it can recharge a lot of energy like the way Harmony Trailblazers can, it just seems like a big old nothing burger, if I'm being honest. It just kind of does a little bit of damage. It's like sample skill, you know, you attack the one enemy and then it bounces 4 times. It's not anything crazy. You can't do the weakness implant with his skill. That comes with the ultimate. Now, when you use Anaxa's ultimate, I don't know how often you'll get the ult. That can be a make or break for a lot of characters. When you use Anaxa's ult, what it does is it'll obviously do the initial damage, but it also does all type like weakness to implant to all the enemies on the field for 1 turn. And 1 turn doesn't seem like it'll be that much, but when you're running an E0 S0 Herda and you're using Himiko's Lycone, that can actually kind of go crazy, because Himiko's Lycone does it allows the wearer to do 30% more overall damage when the wearer themselves weakness break the enemy. So when they have ice weakness and you break them, thanks to Anaxa being able to allow that to happen, you will get you will get that 30% going a lot more than if you didn't have Anaxa. And on top of that, Anaxa can also buff all allies' damage by 30% when you have 2 or more eruditions on the field. So that's 60% more overall damage thanks to Anaxa, and that does seem like it's quite a lot. But the thing with Honkai Sorrow is there's so many, there's a lot of nuance in the characters, or not nuance, there's a lot of variety. So 60% more overall damage can be done by, it can be given by a lot of other characters. There's Renmei and Chibi who can give all type res pen. There's Sparkle who can give hundreds of crit. She can literally bump you up to 400 plus percent crit damage. Even when all your characters are at E0, S0, because she's just that good, she can give that much crit damage as long as you build her right, of course. There's a lot of good characters, and if you already have said good characters and you have good builds on them, maybe you have their light cone or E1 or whatever, that will be enough to where you don't need Anaxa, because as it sits right now, Anaxa is so erudition oriented. Using him without any eruditions would be like using Acheron without any nihilities. And even from what I've seen, even Adelons, actually I haven't seen his Adelons, but I don't think his Adelons fix it. Anaxa, his kit down to the bone is just meant to boost the damage of other erudition units. So, once again, he could go crazy in Pure Fiction by buffing Himeko, 4-star Herda, 5-star Herda, of course, Jade, whatever, Urgency. But once again, Pure Fiction is so easy, you don't need it. You don't need him at all. If you're still struggling with Pure Fiction, what I would recommend, and I might make a video on this, you could try building Himeko if you have her and pair her alongside 4-star Herda. And if you have 5-star Herda, then those 3 characters is all you need for Pure Fiction. If you don't have Himeko or the Herda, worst case scenario, and you're free to play and you're struggling in Pure Fiction, and you've been playing the game for a while and you have your roster built up and everything, and you're still struggling, maybe then I would recommend Anaxa. But still, you have to work him into your team comps properly. He's not like a put him on your team and you stop thinking about it type of character. You gotta focus. When it comes to team comps in general, it's kind of like that, you know. You gotta actually make them work properly. So speed tune as much as you can, try to get them working properly. Anaxa seems like he'll be a Pure Fiction merchant, and at the same time he will be the best in slot support for the Herda. Don't get me wrong, him for the Herda will be Jiaoqiu to Acheron. The problem is Acheron as of right now needs Jiaoqiu, while the Herda does not need Anaxa at all. Now, can Anaxa himself do damage? No, not at all. He's a sub DPS. I'm pretty sure I said this already. He will probably do 50% more damage than what an E0 S0 Jade can do. So if you want a new main DPS, you might be better off going for casters or waiting for the Herda's rerun. People say that DPS reruns are bait. I honestly disagree, because Firefly has already had a rerun and she is still one of the best DPS units in the game. So by the time the Herda gets a rerun, if you really need a DPS or just a better erudition than Anaxa, the Herda will be your best bet for now, since there's not going to be any new eruditions coming out for a while, it seems like. But that's about it for this video. That's my initial impressions on Anaxa. Just to quickly condense things, I think, first of all, modern day Silverwolf officially found dead in a ditch. Secondly, will most likely be best in slot support for the Herda. However, won't be that much better than Jade for the Herda. Will go crazy in Pure Fiction as long as you're building your characters properly and you're getting the team synergies working, because even though Star Rail is only turn-based and not real-time action, just having the characters on a lot of people made this mistake. I'm telling you, just having the right characters in your team isn't enough. You still gotta actually think when you use these characters. I see people using Himeko and Herda together, Himeko and 4-star Herda together in Pure Fiction, which is good enough for Pure Fiction, and they still can't clear it, most certainly because they're just using the characters wrong, even though they have the right team comp. So don't pull for Anaxa just because you want him for Pure Fiction, and then you come to find out that he won't even help you, likely because you're using him wrong and you don't even know about it. But overall, I wouldn't even recommend him for Pure Fiction, because Himeko exists, 4-star and 5-star Herda exists. Those three erudition units is all you need for Pure Fiction. But that's about it for this video. I'll honestly, at this point in time, I would not recommend Anaxa, especially when Casters is coming in the same patch. She seems like she has a lot of potential. Allegedly, Aventurine will be rerunning in version 3.2. 3.4 allegedly is going to be the fake collab patch, and that is going to be a massive update. So a lot of people are saving for that as well. it just doesn't seem like Anaxa stands out compared to all of these new characters that are coming out recently, especially with how much this game's meta actually shifts. It's I don't know, we are in an AoE meta right now because of the Herda and she's just destroying everything. But I don't see Anaxa being this character that will change your account unless you have I really don't know how he will be good for your account, but he won't change it as much as say Herda will. The Herda will change your account long term. Sparkle will change your account long term. Even if you pull her right now in version 3.1, she will still change your account. I've been using Sparkle since the day she came out, and she is still used in every single endgame refresh, and I'm still clearing it all just fine. But that's it for this video. I had to harp on that. I had to emphasize on that. I don't think Anaxa is worth it right now, but I will make a follow-up video. But that's about it on my thoughts. I'll see y'all. I'd love to hear people's thoughts and opinions on Anox's kit right now as it stands. But I really gotta end this video now. I'll see y'all. Goodbye.